So, a lady by the name of Perseverance Maremeni sat down with Lebohang Sehoana on her channel, Madam Speaker, on YouTube. And what they were discussing was basically a story that's been trending for like a week. The founder of Drip shoes, Drip clothing, and so many other brands, retail brands as well, Lekau, Sehoana's wife, or Lekau himself, has been trending not just this past week, but for a while now, about financial issues. At some point, I think he accused his wife of wanting to get a hitman to take him out. One of his, I think one of his managers was killed as well. Highly celebrated entrepreneur in South Africa. You know, he's got a beautiful rags to riches story. I think he's from Ivory Park in Itembisa, in the East Rand, Eguruleni, Kasla, la TJ Sbu. There's a picture that he constantly shares of himself passed out drunk, looking so crusty compared to what he looks like now. Established businessman, as far as we know, multimillionaire, built a multi-million rand business, big business. At some point in the whole of Joburg, all the marketing platforms on the streets, billboards, etc., were covered in Drip advertising. He competes, as far as I know, with Theo Baloy of Batu. They both in the sneaker brand range, retail, etc. So there was a story that came out that he'd been paying 35,000 rand a month in rent for his wife or his ex-wife and his son, and that he hadn't been paying this rent, and that the wife and the son, or the ex-wife, had been kicked out, evicted from this place. He's come out to defend himself in various ways. I've spoken to Lekau personally, not to discuss these things, just to be like, look, I see you're trending on social media. I wish the mother of your son, and I wish your son nothing but the best. You know, life happens, adulting happens, things are not as they seem. So his wife, for the first time, broke her silence, Lebohang Sehoana. She claims they are still married. They are not divorced, which I think Lekau has claimed. The divorce papers have not been signed, according to her, and he has not signed them. It's a very triggering, sad, enlightening interview that Perseverance had with her. And I need to commend Perseverance because, unlike myself, she allowed Lebohang to fully express herself without any interruption. There were a few questions here and there, but for the most part, it was like, here's a platform, Siswami. Feel free, to come and share your side of the story. The first point I want to make is Lebohang went over and over about certain aspects, which would make me think that maybe she's traumatized and scared, speaking about how Lekau has said that he's an influential figure. He controls social media. He has politicians and police officers and other people on his payroll. And she believes she's being abused, and she'd like the abuse to stop, emphasizing that she's not a social media person. She's tried to protect Lekau. She's tried to protect the brand. She's tried to protect his mom, which she speaks about, that when they were homeless and the mom was struggling, she took the mom in, and the mom, Lekau's mom, went to live with her, Lebohang, and her mom in her mom's house. She speaks about how she was the founder, or one of the founders of the Drip company, and how today she's treated like, or called, a gold digger, when she was one of the integral parts and one of the funders of Drip when it started, and how she'd supported Lekau when they had so many business ventures together. Please go check it out. Madam Speaker is the name of the YouTube channel. The interviewer is Perseverance Maremeni. The title, if you look for it, Lebohang Sehoana on funding the sneaker brand eviction, trending on social media, something along those lines. As I watched this episode, I was triggered, and I decided to write some points down on Twitter yesterday. Let me see when I posted this. I posted this yesterday, 1st of August at just over 20 past 2 in the afternoon. Over 35,000 views currently, over 350 likes currently. Just watched the interview with Lekau Sehoana's wife, Lebohang. I'm going to make a video about it later today or tomorrow, which I'm doing now. But for now, I'll say this. And these are some of my notes. I'll go through them just quickly, and then I'll go through each one of them to highlight some of the things that triggered me. Marriage to me is stupid in 2024. Do not get married in community of property. Now, we all watched Acrimony, Tyler Perry movie. Do not invest in your loved one without proper loan documents. Don't ever rely on a man or anyone else for sustenance. Generate your own income. If finances become a problem, downgrade your home and your living expenses. Do not take your kids to expensive schools if you cannot afford it. 67% of South African schools are free. They are called no-fee schools. You don't pay school fees. Always, always tell your side of the story because people lie. Love or not, save key communication via text or email or other. Very important. Expose abusers. Do not wait. Rather deal with the backlash of exposing them soon than waiting. Business is not easy. Some of your most favorite business people are actually struggling financially. Social media is a drug. Tread carefully before chasing clout harms you or your loved ones. Keep your personal life private if you wish, but do not sell lies to the public about it. The legal system favors those with money. It is not about justice. Parents with belief systems need to give each other space to practice those beliefs with their children. One of my favorite. Love is a mental illness. Quote, underline, bold. Love is a mental illness. Umjolo uyanyisa, kodwa umshado ungabulala. In plain English, dating can show you flames, but marriage can actually lead to death. Take care of your mental health, always. Always be willing to have nothing and build yourself up from scratch. I'll stop there for now, and then I added a link to the interview. @GodPenwell is my Twitter handle. So let's go through these as quickly as I can. Marriage to me is stupid in 2024. I normally say this, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about. I try to look at the upside of marriage, and I do not see a practical upside. So the people for whom marriage makes sense in 2024 are the people who have been raised very religious, which means it's just a chapter in their lives. You are raised Christian, Muslim, Jewish, and now that you have reached adulthood and you are ready to have a partner and children, the next step is to get married and then have children and have a family. It's a natural progression. Similarly, people who are raised culturally, where you are raised, whether as umZulu, umXhosa, as an example, you are raised to follow cultural prescriptions. You've gone through virginity testing, maybe. You've been raised to be insizwa. You've gone through initiation as a Xhosa man or a Sotho man. I think some of the babies, if I'm not mistaken. You've been initiated, circumcised, etc. And now you're ready to you're now a man, and you're ready to solidify that by getting a wife, having sex, having children, and having a family. That's where it makes sense. There are people that get married for nefarious reasons. So, poor girl, rich guy, she knows if she marries him, she's now secure. Poor guy, rich girl, he knows if he hooks this hun, marries her, his life is set. If anything happens, this chick is going to be paying him alimony. So there are people that do that. There are people that get married for practical reasons, whatever the case may be. I would like myself, my wife, my children to have the same surname. I would like my assets with my family to be with this lady. I would like our families to combine. In the past, you'd have families that come together with arranged marriages because they want to share resources, because they want to strengthen extended family ties, etc., etc. For the average person who is so religious, so cultural, you feature now and then, you are topoza. You know, like when you put rusks in your Milo. We are topoza when you feel like it in these belief systems. Marriage doesn't make sense. If anything, it makes your life difficult. Anywhere you move, any big loan you want to take out, anytime you want to travel, the day you need to get divorced because things have fallen apart, it becomes a fucking nightmare. In the past, women at some point couldn't gain access to land or property without marrying into a man. That has changed. Women have rights today. Women can buy land, a woman can buy property, a woman can do whatever the fuck she wants. She can go and get inseminated and she can have a child. No man involved. For a man, you can live with a woman. You can move in with a woman. She can cook for you. She can clean for you. She can bear your children. You guys can go on vacations without putting a ring on her finger, without paying ilobolo, without having a wedding, without changing her surname. That's number one. Marriage does not make sense to me, and I think it's stupid in 2024. People fight me, it's okay. Yeah, but penal families are raised better in marriage. Marriage does not have a monopoly on good nuclear families. Myself, my partner, We come together, we decide to have a child, we raise that child in a loving home. There is nothing signing a document, getting a ring, paying ilobol. There is nothing that it has that is unique to doing just that. Marriage does not have a monopoly on the nuclear family. In the same way, the school system does not have a monopoly on knowledge and information. You can go onto the internet as a 14-year-old and learn some of the most complicated knowledge systems out there in the world. Number 2, do not get married in community of property. It's 2024. I know, like it says later on, love is a mental illness, but people are actually stupid. Why are you getting married? Oh, because we love each other. Okay, if you love each other, keep the assets as far away from each other as possible. You guys are not marrying for money, right? If you're marrying for money, by all means, marry in community of property. That's where dumb guys who are thinking with their dicks, who have money, marry these poor girls who are there for the money. He's there because he sees a big barman, whatever the case may be, and he loses half of his shit later on, and then we all laugh at him because he's a fucking imbecile. Do not get married in community of property. And this is happening more and more to women because women have become upwardly mobile. They have amazing jobs. They have beautiful homes, great cars. They have a share portfolio. They have rental property. They have all these amazing things. And then because now, they fucking retarded. They go and they meet some loser of a guy with a smile who's treating her like a gentleman, opens her door, makes a breakfast in bed. Oh, the love of my life. Thank you, God, for delivering. Fucking idiot. You marry the idiot in community of property. Things go sideways. He cheats on you. He hits you, whatever the case may be. In a few years, this guy's taking your hard-earned shit. Your hard-earned shit, and you're paying him alimony. Women are complaining today. Why must I pay spousal maintenance? What kind of a man gets maintained by a woman? Baba. Times have changed. You guys wanted feminism. You wanted woman empowerment. This is what it comes with. If you earn more than him, you will maintain him because you're an idiot and you got married in community of property. Stop it. We all watch Acrimony, Taraji Henson. I'm not sure of the gentleman's name who's the protagonist. He luckily does the right thing at the end, but a very triggering movie. And one of the questions of the universe, what is the purpose of life? Why am I here? Who was wrong in Acrimony? Love is love. Being a ride or die sounds really cute. It's a beautiful thing. Investing in someone when, they were still on the rise. It's a beautiful thing. But again, it's 2024. You guys are meant to know better. If you don't, then I'm here. I'm here to tell you better. Do not give more to your loved one than what's coming from the heart. If your heart is like, let me splurge 100,000 on my partner, even if they leave me, it's fine. Live your best life. If you're like, no, man, I love this person, I'll buy them a car. If we break up, look, it's a gesture of love. It's fine. You know what? Now shabzito wako. But do not go beyond what makes sense to you. If I'm like, Donna, you just drop 20,000 on this chick. What if you guys break up? Nah, fuck that, dog. If we break up, she must bring back my jewelry. Do not spend that money. You want to take a chick on a trip and you want to spend 50,000. What if you guys break up? Oh, fuck, no, bro, we're not. Do not spend that money. Do not invest beyond what feels good to your heart. Don't be led by love and your vagina and your dick. If you're going to be investing in a business, now I'm speaking, of course, about Lekau and Lebohang, Sehoana, because this is what triggered me about the sit down. If you're going to invest, make sure that the documents are there. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, you keep saying that you founded the business, but are you on any of the documents? Are you a director in the business? Are you a beneficiary of the business? Are you on the payroll? If this guy is constantly needing to send you money, like, if you founded the business, why are you not on the documents, this one? Are you lying to us? Is he lying to us? It's not clear. Did you make a mistake? And you founded the business. This was great. This is my girlfriend's business. Opening a salon for her. I'm going to buy her equipment. I'm going to help her market. 3 years later, she cheats on you. She falls pregnant with another nigga's child. You're like, but I bought you this salon. Where, Baba? Where are the papers? She's like, one of the first cars that they used for delivery, she bought. Is the car in your name? Is it written down? Can you claim that back? Let's wisen up financially, because love and money actually doesn't mix. It shouldn't mix. This includes your children. Be very, very financially savvy. when you're getting into a relationship, when you're going to put money in, when you're going to invest in a business, even if you're buying a girlfriend a car, put it in your name so that if shit goes sideways and you want that car back, you can go and repossess it or tell the bank to go fucking fetch it. Because like, that's my car, it's in my name. I allowed her to use it, but we've split. It was on condition that we're together. We're not together anymore. I want my fucking car back. It's in my name. It's not in her name. Very important. Don't ever rely on a man or anyone else for sustenance. Just generate your own income. Very sad, and this is not an uncommon story. Now they're getting evicted from a house. Now the boy is having to leave school, and this lady says she was a business analyst. She says she was an entrepreneur in her own right. She was involved in drip, but like now she's fully dependent on Lekau. If Lekau doesn't send money, she has no home. If Lekau doesn't send money, her son can't go to school. If Lekau doesn't send Siswami, and it's not just a message to her, it's a message to all of you, including men. Because some of you think you're sharp, right? You're living in some woman's house. You're driving her car. She will meet a better guy than you. A more ambitious, a more organized, a more put together man than you. And you're fucked. Now you have to go home like a tit because you became dependent on someone else. It doesn't matter how little it is. It doesn't matter how little it is. Make your own money. Your wife has a hair salon. Learn how to become the cleaner, the security guard, supply goods there, and then with that supply other hair salons so that if that one shuts you down, you break up, at least you've got something. It cannot be that you are fully dependent like a child on another person when you're an adult. Make your own money. 5,000 Rand. Sell stuff, like host kiddies parties. Make some money for yourself so that if your boyfriend kicks you out of that flat, if you get kicked out of that mansion, you're like, hey, you know what? Let me go and get myself a back room somewhere. I'm good. I've got a place to stay. I pay 1,000 Rand a month, but ni grand. I'm not struggling on the streets begging people on social media. If finances become a problem, downgrade your home and your living expenses. If indeed it is true that at Waterfall, Lekau was paying 35,000 Rand a month for his wife to be living there with the son, that is too much money. Even the wife was meant to be like, Stando Sam, this is too much. Let's rather get me a place for 10,000, give me the 25,000, let me push an enterprise somehow. I mean, we've done sneakers before. Let me go and stock something at China Mall. Let me sell something else. Let me push. I mean, no, Lekau was selling perfume and Lebohang doesn't even need to start her own business. She can just be a reseller of drip, a reseller of, I'm not sure of their perfume or their deodorant or their cologne. I think what DJs in the No Murder Bongs were promoting it at some point. Just become a reseller and be like, my husband is in this business, so I'm a reseller. I stock, I sell. I'm involved in their packaging. I'm involved in the logistics. Like something. I deal with their lease agreements. I deal with their marketing. Downgrade. 35,000 Rand is too much. And this applies also to the son, because I'm assuming if they live in Waterfall and if the house is 35,000, I don't know if it's Redham or Red Hill that's around there. And there's probably your Kuros and other schools around there. Does your child need to be going to a school like that? To a point where you're saying things like the child had to be taken out of school, sitting at home. Ay boo. Ay boo. Some of us, it's because abantu bazothini. Take the child out of that private school, put them in a government school. If the government school is strangling you at that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Rand a month, take them out of that government school. Take them to a no-fee school. You guys grew up at Ivory Park at Tempis. There are no-fee schools there. Go back to Ikaslago. Go back and take, your child should be at school. It cannot be, I don't have money, therefore the child's at home. Ow. It's like some of these trending stories about celebrities, and this is not about the LES, by the way. I hope he recovers soon. But he was one of the trending stories. We had Zahara at some point. We had, may you rest in peace, Umenzi Ngubane. May Zahara rest in peace. Umenzi Ngubane of generations. We don't have medical aid, or the medical aid has been exhausted. Dr. Cindy van Sale, we're trying to get people to fund us. There are very decent government hospitals you can go to. Some of them are not that decent, but the reality is you don't have the money and you're sick and you need surgery or something. That hospital is mahalaha. Mahalaha. Grotes. It's free. Now you're here being a sad case when 90% of South Africans cannot afford medical aid and they use public healthcare. but they must take out their 20 rand and donate to you because you're a celebrity and you need to be in private healthcare. Same thing with schooling. Oh, my child hasn't been to school in 6 months because, the school fees at Curo. Oh, come on. Because 67% of South Africans are mapari. Their kids go to no-fee schools because they're stupid. And when you're so smart, your child mustn't go to school because you can't afford the fees. No. These are the things that trigger me. Downgrade your life. Humble yourself. Go to church. Slaughter a chicken. Humble yourself. Speak to your ancestors. Do whatever you need to do to humble yourself because you're in a humbling phase. Penalism principle speaks about the seasons of life and the chapters of life. Life will not always be summer. And also, if you're positive and optimistic, life won't always be winter. Life goes up and down. As I said about Lekau, there was a time when he was down and out, and then wavuga. Oh, yavuga ingwenya. Wavuga madambani. We go up and down. Myself, I've failed in life. I've collapsed. I've not had money. I've been depressed. It's life. Some of my favorite entrepreneurs, some of your favorite celebrities, hey, they've gone down, man. It's life. So in that time of life, some of the smartest people, some of the most resilient people pivot quick. Hey, things are bad. Hey, outing keeping ganyam leskele, outing bafagela fast, and explain to the child. Take them to therapy, take them to church, explain, we're going through a tough time, but we're going to this school because this is what's happening, and try and make it fun. Downgrade your house. Hey, we're moving here. We're going to live here. This is how we're going. Hey, let me ask the bank fast. They said, please, can you take back this car? Because hey, I'm seeing flames and I won't be able to afford this 15,000 rand a month. Take the car back. If there's a shortfall, then maybe can I make arrangements to pay the shortfall over time, but I can't afford this car. Pivot, bounce, move. That's how you win in this life thing. When you see that, hey, the floods are coming, let me build a boat fast. So I've got a small boat here, but I'm also building my ark. I may not get to the ark by the time the floods come, but at least I'm on a boat. But I'm also building the ark. No, the floods are coming. If my ark is not built, what will I do? Hey, Baba. Semhlabeni la. Sempilweni la. Uthi uNdozling, may you rest in peace. Hloniphi life, boy. Hloniphi impilo, boy. Hloniphi life. Life doesn't give a fuck about you. And when shit hits you, make sure that you can bounce back. Don't take your kids to expensive schools if you cannot afford it. 67% of South African schools are free. And the kids even get fed there. Always tell your side of the story because people lie. And social media has become very important for this. In this regard. Yes, there's people that spread gossip. Yes, there's people that, sifuna umgosi, Musa Khawula, this guy. But the reality is, look, the courts in this country do not do the right things. And Lebohang was highlighting that, and it's a fact. I speak about it a bit later. Our courts are very much, maybe let me raise it now. The legal system favors those with money. It's not about justice. I've experienced this. The legal system, from the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo to the Supreme Court judges, to the Constitutional Court judges, to the High Court judges, to the magistrates, these are normal human beings like you and I. They have biases. Some of them are tribalistic. Some of them are racist. Some of them are xenophobic. They've got their biases. And even though the law is written in black and white, how they interpret it, just like your favorite pastor, hallelujah, they interpret it the way they want. If you're dealing with a female judge who was raised by a single mother and struggled and was abused by her father, by the time a woman who's a victim of abuse, she's got triggers. She's human. So when you come there with your little sad story as Umchita, she's like, hey, fuck this. Oh, it reminds me of my dad, actually. They are biased. And when they're not biased, they are bribed with money. So it's important. There is the court of public opinion, social media, which is very dangerous, by the way, and people need to move better. But because the legal system doesn't do what it does, tell your story. Osis is complaining that for, I think, 2 years, or I think for 2 years, she's been trying to get divorced. And anyone who knows the divorce courts and the rubbish that happens there, I mean, look at Jacob Zuma as an example. Look at some of your ANC leaders and other politicians and business people. The case just keeps getting postponed. It's about best that the case has been postponed now to February. The guy is a convicted murderer. He ran away from prison. But you just keep case postponed. We will wait for the what to bring the documents. It's a bullshit. It's a fucking bullshit. It's a bullshit story. So always tell your story. Yes, You may get a letter that is a cease and desist, which means stop posting and take it down. You may get a counter where you told your story and someone's like, hey, but why didn't you tell people that you also beat me up? Why didn't you tell people that I was providing for you? So it might actually come to backfire. But tell your story. If not on social media, because this is a very dangerous, toxic space, and it's not a healthy space, so be very, very careful. Tell it to your family members, the ones you trust. Tell it to your friends that you trust. Tell it to wise people. Tell it to, in a situation where you're married, tell it to people in the other family that are willing to listen, so that even if they're not on your side, but they're like, hey, hey, why is it can't be that we're finding out 5 years later, hey, Auntie, you were abusing umakoti. We're finding out 7 years later, you were living off your woman. Because no one spoke, because you're trying to keep dignity and no, is between two people. It's not between two people because they are children, they are family members, they are people that get hurt in real time. Always, always, always tell your story. And anyone who tells you not to tell your story is complicit in your fucking abuse. One of the key weapons of abusers is silence of the victim. Key weapon. It's like isolation, being isolated away from your friends and your family. You've got no one to cry to. It's one of their key weapons. And if someone is telling you, hey, don't share, no, don't tell, you're being abused. What the fuck must I write a diary, send it to someone, send an email speak to a therapist, at least have a therapist or a doctor document these things so that at any given time you're like, hey, actually, in 2022, and this happened in 2023, it's actually documented. That's very important. Love or not, save key information, communication via text or email or other. I learned this the hard way in corporate and then in romantic relationships. In corporate, people will throw you under the bus if you have not saved emails, if you have not CC'd other people so that they can be witnesses, to be like, no, I was CC'd in that email, they're right. They sent it on time. The manager was the problem. I was thrown under the bus when I worked at ABSA. Thrown under the bus. Lapo, you're trying to do teamwork. No, it's together. We are here, stronger together. Then your managers, they're like, yeah, but Pen, you should have known better. Bitch, what are you saying about me? Keep evidence. Your boyfriend is swearing at you over text. Your baby mama is sending you vile voice. I hope you fucking die. I should actually find people to come fucking kill you. Save that shit. You don't have to use it. Save it. Video. Fuck you, I hate you. You'll never see your child again. Shabzindo, you fucking save that shit and you put it in an archive because you never know when you'll need it. Documents. Things you paid for. Like we spoke earlier about investing and having those documents. Save that shit because life is seasons and you never know. We see this all the time. Acrimony, Diary of a Mad Black Woman as movies, but in real life. Umcholo uyanyisa. Umshatu ngabulala. I say this later. So please save key communication. And this is good and bad things, by the way. Your partner buys you something, they send you the document, save that thing. Your partner commits to something in happy times, save that shit. You never know when it will come in handy. Let's see here. Expose abusers, don't wait. Very, very important. And by expose, again, it doesn't have to be social media, like your rape lists. It can be you writing a letter, sending it to your mom, having witnesses who are your friends. Mgani, look at what they sent, and you're like, okay, cool. Send this to them, let them save it, so that if ever anything happens to you, like you lose your life, they'll be the first to come to be like, we know exactly what happened. What do you mean? Lapo, the boyfriend, because he's an abuser, thought he was safe. It's like, no, we've got, our friends sent us voice notes and video footage and sent us pictures of scars. Our friends showed us where he keeps his gun and we've got all of it. This is the number one suspect. Please do that. Business is not easy. Some of your most favorite business people are struggling financially. I was a loan shark for many years, and some of my clients were celebrated entrepreneurs online in the mainstream. Tenderpreneurs, people that own legit businesses, people that do interviews on business platforms that get interviewed via print media, on the covers of magazine, entrepreneur of the year, would borrow money from me. Look, it's also because we don't understand business, right? I can be worth 100 million, but you may find that my business owes 200 million. And the salary that I draw is 20,000. So our debt is quite high. Most of our profits goes to servicing debts, and the salary that I earn is not enough. So I just need like a shortfall. That's why big business people have got credit cards, personal loans. You're like, Donna, you've got a business worth 50 million. Why are you like, oh, the business is worth 50 million, but I only earn 30,000 rand. To be honest, if I want the 50 million, I'll have to sell my shares, and Nakona will have to deduct liabilities first. But this is financial literacy most people don't understand. Business is not easy. This could be about Lekau, this could be about Theo Baloy, this could be about Christo Visa, this could be about, may he rest in peace if he's passed on, Marcus Jooste. Business is tough. Business is tough, and there are tough times. Presidential candidate Donald Trump, ex-president Donald Trump, has been in debt, billions of dollars in debt. My mentor and friend and brother DJ Sbu has seen flames, huge tax bills. Business is not what you think it is. It is hard. It is hard. You can see shops and stores and, hey, but you guys are selling. You're like, hey, Donna, we might be selling, but our debt, we're over leveraged. We've got lawsuits. Our payroll is very high. And to be honest, all I earn is, as an example, you might find Lekau is earning very comfortable 100,000 rand. Comfortable. But then if he's paying 35,000 rand for his wife's home, and he's maybe paying another 20,000 rand for wherever he stays, and if he's paying 20,000 rand for a car, and if he's paying his son's school fees, and if he's got black tax, and if he's also trying to spend money on his mates, and all of a sudden you realize he's not living on 100,000, he's living on 150,000, which means he needs an overdraft, he needs a credit card, he needs a personal loan. Business is not what you think it is, guys. So I was partially sad that Lebohang claims she understands business, but seems to not in some of the things she's saying. She'll say Lekau didn't send money for the boy, but then Trip is celebrating its birthday, or they're sponsoring a football team. It's like, but Siswami, these are two separate things, because the business has got its own budget and its way of operation. And me, my personal finances are mine. So if I'm earning 50,000 rand and I have to pay the boys fees and maybe I'm short or I've forgotten, that's on me. If the business, which is its own animal, has got a budget for its birthday celebration, it's got a budget for marketing and sponsorships, that is the business. But if we're running a business like a spaza shop, which is what destroys businesses, then obviously I'm going to take money there to pay for the son's fees. But that's not my money. That's the business's money. Yes, there's drawings from directors and all these terms, direct loans to directors, etc., for people that understand finance. But it cannot be that you see the business doing well and then assume I'm good. There are people literally who own shares in really successful businesses, but their personal finances are a piece of shit. You will not understand it if you don't understand business and finance. I earn 100,000. My lifestyle is 150,000 rand. I have a 50,000 rand shortfall. My business with the CEO and the finance managers and the shareholders and compliance makes 100 million a year, and they make 30 million profits. They are fucking healthy. I make 100K, but my personal finances are fucking shit. So, yeah, we need to understand these things as well. Social media is a drug. As I make a video on live on YouTube. Watch me making a video about trending topics. Social media is a serious drug. Validation is a drug. Chasing likes is a drug. Looking at my video, this one did 2,000 views. Fuck. What topic can I push to bump more? Let me speak about the male-female boxers at the Olympics. Fuck, what scandal was there this week? Helen Ziller was saying there's no GNU. It's actually an ANC-DA coalition. Fuck, let me see. How are the numbers now? 5,000. Okay, that's a bit better. But we must bump it up. Social media is a drug. You constantly want to feed that high. You know, for girls, post a beautiful picture of yourself, 200 likes. Okay, let me post another one showing a bit of skin, maybe my ass. Let me, 3,000 likes. That's better. Fuck. No more business suits. Fucking get 200 likes. Let me show some booty. Let me show some booty. So you're like, this is a drug. You realize you're chasing attention, likes. And even when people send harsh comments, then you're like, oh, fuck. No, Chidima must be removed. She must go back to Nigeria. Because that's what's popular. That's what's cool. If you are DJ Sbu and Pearl Tusi and Lerato Khanyach, when you go against the grain, getting bashed. No, cancel more fire. I'm not going to drink more fire. Fuck Sbu. You must sell more fire in Nigeria. Oh, that's what's trending. Social media is a drug, and it may be Lekau, it could be Musa Kaula, it could be Podcast and Chill, it could be Kokos Koteni, it could be anyone. Just be very careful. Yes, you can do gossip. YouTube pays you, you're getting paid. Hey, live your life. But try to not harm people. Try to not lie. That stuff will catch up with you. Yo, my many children, I give them 50,000 rand a month in maintenance. How? My baby mamas, they're like, how, Puti? My kids are like, 50,000, nigga. What the fuck? Because you're lying. Trying to live this fake Instagram life that so many people live. We are a sad generation with happy pictures. Be careful of social media. Tread carefully before chasing clout harms you or your loved ones. I'm raising this because Lebohang raises that she believes Lekau lies on social media and he pretends to be living this life that he's not. That he's got an ex-wife, but they're not divorced. That he provides for his son, but there are months that he misses. That he's this guy who's well off, but he's struggling financially. That his mom is taken care of, but she's like, but I'm taking care of his mom. So I'm not sure what this guy is saying. That drip was started in a shack. It's like, no, drip was founded in my mother's house with me. So you're lying. That a shack was broken into. It's like, no, it wasn't. Why are you lying, bro? So these are her claims. These are her claims. Now Lekau can hit back. No, she's lying. And now there's this back and forth spat. There was a time when I did a video, Mbalenhle Mlotshwa, the wife of Black Coffee, Nkosinathi, speaking about how the electricity was cut off because Black Coffee hasn't been paying. Hey, I was like, yes. But Siswami, you're also an actress in your own right. You are a personality in your own right. You earn your own income. My understanding is that Black Coffee bought the house and gave you guys the house to live in with the children. He pays the children's fees himself. You don't have to pay the children's fees. He maintains the children fully. Ungitshela ukuthi wena neholo lakho uhluleka ukhokhela ugesi. I was like, nah, BS. This is where now you're searching for sympathy, making videos with a candle. And it's like, guys, be very careful. And many other celebrities have been caught out for bullshitting people on social media. Some of the things she was saying is claims again. Lekau said he's overseas in Paris because I'm trying to send hitmen to kill him, but people are seeing him in Santon. And then when people are like, but are you not overseas? It's like, wherever you see me, I'm overseas. If you see me here, I'm in Paris. And it's like, we must all be careful. Drake, what's the song? Emotionless. Where he's like, there are so many people chasing social media clout that girls will go overseas, Dubai, take so many pictures and videos, and even when they back, they keep staggering the release as if they're still traveling. Girls, you guys know this, girls will go to restaurants, order water, and then take pictures so that they can post them 3 months later. And literally, wow, girls will take pictures having a meal, go to the bathroom, change, come take new pictures, same place, same time, different outfit, so that they can post them in another time. Switch the meals that they ordered so that it looks like it's a new meal. Because you're chasing social media clout. Yes, for some people it's a hustle. They use it to become influencers, to become brand ambassadors and whatever. Do your thing, shawty. But now when you're living a fake life, that's where it starts fucking up with your mind. And people out there, when you're like, guys, I'm struggling, they're like, Kanjani, my girl, because you're always in hotels. Now I'm always in the foyer. But we saw your house. That's actually not my house. It's one of my friends who lives in an estate. And I visit them and take pictures and pretend that this is my life. Stop it. Keep your personal life private if you wish. Many people are like, keep your personal life private. Hey, by all means. With that being said, do not sell lies to the public about it. Guys, I keep my personal life private. My personal life is private. My kids go to expensive private schools. I don't want to talk about it. Hey. Then we find out your child is studying at a public school. Your mom is paying the school fees. You lied. But you were keeping it private. No, Baba. No, do better. The legal system favors those with money. It's not about justice. I've spoken about this. Parents with different belief systems need to give each other space to practice those beliefs with their children. So this is twofold. Lebohang, Sehoana speaks about how her and Lekau were always praying people. Even when they bought their first car, they took it to church to be prayed upon. That's their belief system. Later on, when he becomes weird and he's not coming through at home, now and then when he feels like it, Now he's doing these rituals she doesn't understand. He's slaughtering chickens. He's doing these things. She gives the child to, I think, his mom or to him. Comes back, the child has got cuttings. For those people that don't know, gaba, with a razor. Sometimes here, back of the neck. Sometimes it could be the wrists. You know, in some belief systems, to be made strong per the ancestors. Some, they cut with the razor and then they put some muti in the cuts. For those about umlando, wesintu, wherever you may come from. Now, those are belief systems, but those are not belief systems that they'd shared before. And it is fundamentally wrong to then change your belief systems and not educate and enlighten and inform the other parent. They do not have to agree, but you let them know. A very close friend and brother of mine got divorced because him and his wife were Christian, and then he got a calling. And his wife was like, I was not raised on this. I do not understand this. I understand this to be demonic, barbaric, satanistic. I am sorry. And they got divorced. And she was like, I do not want our child raised in this. Because he changed. Very sad story, by the way. Very common story as well. But if you are going to change, I was Christian, now I'm Muslim. I was Muslim, now I'm Buddhist. Inform. So, be considerate, because you have a child. Be considerate even without a child, so that your partner understands why you're walking around the house naked, busy burning sage, incense, mpepo. Why are we slaughtering things? Now, why are the goats being butchered? It's a fucking genocide of goats every weekend at your posy. It's because my belief systems have changed. This is the process. You've got the Bala family, beautiful story as well. Loiso and Zwei and Pelo were all raised, and Usiswa Kona as well, Pink, all raised Christian. And then Uzwai started questioning this Christianity, and then he's moved closer to African beliefs, customs, spirituality. Ulois was like, my brother, I love you. I bless you, you my brother. I'll always be there for you, but I do not celebrate this. This is not what we were raised on. But anytime you have a function, event, as my brother, I will be there to support you. I want you to know that I stand in solidarity and I love you, but I will not engage in this. I will not be maybe eating the meat or doing rituals with the blood or whatever. Count me out, but please know that I'm there for you. It happens. Now, that's the first part. The second part is, if it so happens that the parents have different beliefs, moms, this is a message to mothers. Your belief system is not the fucking beginning and the end of everything. It's not the alpha and the omega. I have met so many older parents who fight because the father is cultural, the mom is religious. The mom doesn't want anything slaughtered at her house. The father's like, why are you at church every night of the week? Are you sleeping with the pastor? And there's fights. Why is the money of this household going to the church? We're struggling as a family, but any bit of money you get goes to the church. Yeah, but any bit of money that you get, you're fucking buying a cow and you're killing animals. And you're buying uchwala and you're hosting a party and you're putting up a tent. So we need to allow each other the respect of our beliefs. Part of what's happened with Black people and Africans in particular is because of colonization, our beliefs have taken the backseat to Christianity, Islam in particular, and then more are coming now. And then Black Africans look down now on African beliefs. I may not support Ukaba, the cuttings. I may not support Ukaba on the face. Abaga Zuma, Nabaga Duma. I may not support Ingeti, where Abantu Baga Ngubane chop the children's pinkies. I may not support a lot of things. The initiation and the circumcision of Amaxhosa, as an example. I may not support these things. But the respect of the people that practice these things, because these are things that we had as Africans. Now, should these things be challenged, evolve? Sure, by all means. But let's do it in a healthy space. And in a situation where we do not agree, let's get external assistance. My son, when he was young, his mom, very Christian from a very Christian household, was like, I do not ever want my son to witness an animal being slaughtered. I laughed hard. Hey. She was like, I will never let my son watch a slaughtering of an animal. It will traumatize him. This is a Black woman, by the way. Spoke to the family advocate. I explained, this is, at the time, obviously, I was still Zulu. This is my culture. I do not care what the mother says. I'm protected by the Constitution. My son will not only witness animals being killed, he will partake in the killing of such animals. Because what will happen to my son, because ngingumzulu and usiswa abantu ungumzulu herself, what will happen is that he will be laughed at, ridiculed, looked at by his peers, by his friends, by his family, his cousins as a weirdo. All his siblings will be there slaughtering, engaging, and he'll be there, hey boy, go hide because your mom says you're going to be traumatized. That is not what I want for my son, and it's not in the best interests of my son and my belief systems and his belief systems. That becomes a conversation and we need help. So one of the compromises we got to was when there are slaughterings, he will be present. I must limit the contact of maybe he's cutting the neck of the goat, but he will be there holding the legs, etc., and maybe wait till he's maybe 10 or so. I was like, we can compromise. I'm a reasonable but it will not be that the mother and her Christianity are going to supersede my belief systems. We need to respect each other's belief systems, and where we cannot meet, I understand and find each other, get external help and compromise. One of the best ways to compromise is when the child is with mom, the child follows mom's belief systems. When the child is with dad, the child follows dad's. It will confuse the child. Children are not idiots. Your black child practices African customs at home and then goes to a white school and then has to pray to Jesus in that white school. Is that child confused? No, they're not. That same child who will be Muslim will have a friend who's Jewish. Now, when the Jewish friend is like, hey, no, we're going to the synagogue. Oh, your Muslim child is confused. I don't know what's going on. No, they're not, because children are not idiots. And stop pretending children are idiots. They understand, oh, mom is Buddhist. This is what we do with my mom. Dad is Rasta. This is what we do with my dad. And we respect each other's spaces and we don't trample. And if you're going to be doing things like cutting a child, this includes piercing a girl's ears. You inform the other parent. Just be thoughtful, considerate, because if they did it, you're looking to grow your daughter's hair to be long and have dreadlocks. And the father's like, oh, it's my child too. And claps, one weekend the daughter comes back, mpandla. Be considerate. Be considerate. This child is for both of your enjoyment and for your grooming and guidance. Kanye West would complain about North being on social media. Kim didn't have an issue. Easy fix. When I'm with mom, I get to be on social media. When I'm with dad, I cannot be on social media. It's not rocket science. But when Kanye wants to bully Kim, my child will not be on social media. Fusak. Kim is like, well, my child will be on social media. I don't know about your fucking child. Speaking about the same mother, just a little joke, Nyana, or a little on a lighter note. She said before our son was born, no one will ever hit my son. Woo! Woo! No one will ever hit my son. I tell you, that's great, because my son will fucking get moored properly. It's Baklu. Uzozithola kimi. She was like, no, you will never lay a hand on my son. I'm like, oh, shame. I won't lay a hand on your son, Siswam. But on my son, I will clatter him until he becomes a solid man. Fast forward 2-3 years later, we're having coffee to discuss the boy, etc., etc. And I asked, she says something about he was being naughty, what. I'm like, oh, did you hit him? She's like, I had to. I'm like, Aibu, weren't you the lady that said Wuti? She's like, yeah, but sometimes these kids don't listen. You warn them over and over, then you have no choice. I'm like, you know what? Welcome to parenting. Welcome to parenting. I'm like, did you do it out of malice? No. Is it because you hate the child? No. It's out of love. That's why we fucking mood these things. Because we love them. We love them. Thunder boy. Claps. Okay. Love is a mental illness. I've spoken about it. Numbs rationality. Take care of your mental health always. Always be willing to have nothing and build yourself up from scratch. Besides social media, some people get caught up in a certain quality of life that they cannot fathom. Oh, what will I do without my car? Maybe let me tell a story, Some people were talking about me on Facebook. I posted something. Some people were like, yeah, but he's from a well-off family. His mom is well-off. Umams is not well-off, man. Umams was a school teacher her whole life. She was a deputy principal at some point. She managed through struggle and selling juice on the side, ice cream, etc., hustling, selling handbags. My mom's entrepreneurial. She managed to take these 3 amazing children, Penwell, Pensin, Penrose, through decent Model C schools, Newcastle Senior, Newcastle High, Hutton Park, Ferrum High School. We got to go through tertiary, NSFAS, EduLoan, bursaries, my mom's payments at some point, Rhodes University, University of Johannesburg. She's done the most as Utisha, you know. Shout out to my mom, by the way. And then someone was like, this guy's got no money, he's broke. You know, I've seen him catching taxis. I was thinking about this yesterday because I was in a taxi yesterday. I will not be caged and live in the prison of people's expectations of me. I've seen life. I've seen what life does to people. I've seen what life has done to me. I will never be too cool for a taxi, ever. And if you see me in a taxi, assume that I'm broke. It's fine. Honestly, if you believe I'm broke, it doesn't hurt me anyway. I don't feel pain. Ooh, they think I'm broke. I feel nothing. I used to have a lot of cars at some point, pushing entrepreneurship. My businesses failed at some point. I generally have one car now, and when my car's fucked, I buy second-hand cars. You know, I don't have that money. I work on a budget. It allows me to live a certain lifestyle. I can have a great meal at a restaurant. I can travel even abroad because I budget. Some things are more important to me than others. So I'm not going to buy a brand new car so that I can't travel overseas and so that I'm fucking eating isinkwanetiye because I want you guys to see me in a Merc. I'd rather drive a little Tez, but be able to eat a 500 Rand meal, be able to travel to London because that's how I budget my life. It's what I can afford. It makes sense to me. And I've got children I had to fucking provide for as well. If I didn't have those fucking bastards, maybe I'd be driving a Lekau car, but I would rather have those children than have the car. Again, my priorities. If you see me in a taxi, it's either my car's getting fixed, maybe I've sold a car, maybe I no longer have a car, or maybe for whatever reason it's convenient. I could be flying to Cape Town, and depending on when my flight is, I could drive my car, go park it at the airport. Depending on when I'm coming back, it's quite expensive to park there. I could catch the Gau train to the airport, is fucking expensive. You catch the Gau train to Rhodesfield, hack, plug, and then you Uber from Bolt from Rhodesfield to the airport, much cheaper. This is Oratambo, by the way, not Lanseria for Joburg people. I don't know about Lanseria and what the models are there. You can Uber. Sometimes it actually makes sense to Uber to the airport. You can catch a lift. Someone can pick you up, drop you off, or you can catch taxis. From where I stay to the Joburg CBD, 18 Rand taxi, 18 Rand. And then you pass the MTN Noord. At the back there, I'm not sure, I taxi ranki bizwangan. Konama taxi at Kempton Park, which go via OR Tambo. Those taxis are 22 Rand, I think, today. 22 Rand plus 18 Rand for me, 20, 30, 40. I paid 40 Rand. I pay 40 Rand from my place to the airport. And now I need to be so worried that people that watch the panel show, people that have seen me with Vusi Tembegwayo and Gayton McKenzie and the next rich person. I paid 40 Rand of my hard-earned money. 40 Rand. Makes sense to me. I don't mind. I get to the airport, I jump in the same panoi as your favorite people, and I go do whatever the fuck I need to go and do where I'm going. And I'm comfortable. I didn't hurt anyone. I didn't steal from anyone. I'm not pretending to live some life I'm not living. It makes sense for me. And if that bugs you, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You guys have become so used to putting celebrities under pressure. Some celebrities put themselves under pressure. I am not that guy. I will not be put under pressure by you and your standards of me. You will see me walking a kaslako. You will see me eating a pie somewhere. You will see me standing in a queue there to go catch a taxi if it makes sense to me. You'll see me in an Uber at some point if it makes sense to me. You'll see me driving. I drive a cheap, affordable, second-hand car. Very proud of my car, for those that have seen it. You may sometimes see me driving. You may sometimes see me driving very fancy cars, by the way. Most of those cars are not mine. It's either I'm in a city somewhere and I've rented it, or it's linked to someone that's close to me. Friend, partner, whatever the case may be. That's not mine. Me, I can't afford those things. But I'll drive that car comfortably because I'm the driver, the designated driver. I need to use it for whatever. So I'm living my life. You will not put fucking pressure on me. Pavel, is it Pavel Durov? Let me find this guy's name. Founder of Telegram. Pavel Durov from Russia. Sat down with Tucker Carlson. Please go check out the interview. And there's a brilliant clip that I took from there. I put on my social media. The guy's got hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin and elsewhere. And him, you look at Mark Zuckerberg when he started Facebook. You look at Steve Jobs running Apple. So many other people, minimalists, by the way, is what we are called. I'm not rich like them. And part of the reason I'm a minimalist is because I don't have money. I don't have money. But this guy's like, I don't want to own a yacht. I don't want to own a mansion. Those things are going to waste my time because now if you own something, you don't have freedom. He speaks at some point about how they've had to move Telegram offices to San Francisco, Silicon Valley. They're comfortable in Dubai. I don't know where else they tried to just try and find the best place. He's mobile. He can move. Shout out to my boy, Great Jabesi. Same. Moves around anywhere he wants. Because now if I have my home, I'm constantly worried. Let me go check. Did I switch on the alarm? When you have a car, you're panicking. Where my ideal lifestyle, I think, costs 30,000 Rand a month, I think. Which means at 12 months, that's 360,000 at 10% return. That's 3.6 million. This is excluding tax and other things. If I were to get 4 million Rand invested at 10% per annum, I get to live my dream life of 30,000 Rand a month. Yeah, I think it's 60. Oh. But let's say 30 for ease, which is 1,000 Rand a day. With that 1,000 Rand a day, I must comfortably be able to eat out all 3 meals. Could be a breakfast at Wimpy, a pie for lunch, and KFC for supper. I must be able to move around without a car, whether it's Uber, taxi, I walk, someone gives me a lift, and I must be able to sleep out every night. Could be a road lodge, could be a Airbnb, it could be maybe I go visit a friend and they let me crash for the night and I buy them supper. That's my dream life. I must be able to afford that. This is excluding my children, by the way. My children have their own budget that I work on, but that's my dream life. In that way, I am free. So Pavel Durov is like, I'm free. I don't want to be content by these things. Elon Musk, another good example of a minimalist. It's like, bro, my favorite minimalist is Nicholas Berggruen. Nicholas Berggruen, please go look him up. Dollar billionaire by far. At some point, sold all his properties, sold everything, and he just kept his private jet and a bag for clothes. He'd travel around, he'd sleep in hotels, he'd hire cars, and he was good. So you must choose the lifestyle that you want for yourself. And that's the life that some of us have chosen. So yeah, man, be careful. Be very, very careful. The last point, this is what I was trying to get to. Always be ready to go back to nothing. When I was a young boy, I was born into Emadadeni Township in Newcastle in KZN. We were born into a 4-room house, which my father got working for the Zulu government as a building inspector. My mom, through being a school teacher, would manage to get a bond, and she would buy a house in Arbor Park, white neighborhood, when I was 5. We'd later on, when I was 12, move into Central, a beautiful home, huge yard. Again, from my mom's sweat as a school teacher, carrying, the most. That's where I come from. From there, I'd go to Rhodes. From there, I'd work for the biggest banks. I'd earn a comfortable salary. I used to drive a beautiful black BMW 320i. I used to call it Zeus. It was inspired by this movie with Hugh Jackman, not Transformers, Real Steel. Zeus. There's a character they call Zeus that I like, so I named it after him. That BMW got repossessed. I used to own a Taz at some point. I owned Taz's. I owned Mazda Midges. I used to own trucks, H100s. I've owned a Suzuki Swift. I've owned a Mini Cooper. I've lived in flats generally. I've never lived in a big house. I've slept in fancy hotels globally. I mean, I remember sleeping at a Sheraton, very Lani in Hong Kong, being driven around in an Aston Martin. I've slept in mansions, not mine, of course, friends, people that have money. I've dined in very expensive restaurants. I've had a comfortable life, but I'm always ready to go back to nothing. And this applies to my children as well. I've got children that study at international schools. I've got children that study at very decent public schools. Probably because some of my kids are young. Some of my kids are probably going to study at decent private schools. My brother, Penson, has got kids that are at a very prestigious private school. But I will never be ashamed ever sending my kids to an ordinary public school, sending my kids to iskolo ekasi, if the situation and the circumstance so requires. I will never be ashamed to go back to Newcastle, go live in Matadeni, rent a back room. It's my superpower. I think myself and a very good friend and brother of mine, Sabulela Nganga, I've had him on the panel show. That's one of our superpowers. We are not scared of poverty. We are not scared. We can fuck. Uhamba uthenga iplate ema-rank udle. Abanye bathanda inhloko, maybe not for me, but iplate omama bayapheka la bakuphakela i-rice, bakuphakela ishebo, bakuphakela inyama, stew, and you live. Hamba ugibela itaxi, khokha 15 rand, phila impilo yakho, walk around ekasi. Hamba ulale Soweto, ngivakashela impintshi yami Nhlanhla Lux, skidle ekuse. Luxy, you grand. How you doing, my boy? No scam. I do not fear poverty and having nothing. And I feel sorry for those people who do, because it becomes a prison. You constantly need to, what will I do without this? You will go back to what you were without that, and you will start again, and you'll dust yourself off. First, you don't succeed. Shout out to Aliyah, man. So, yeah, that's my video for today. Let me read some of your comments and then get out of here. It's a Friday. I see you guys. I appreciate you. I love you very much. John Hill, marriage is a minor commitment compared to having kids. I fully agree. More, what will hold you, because some of us are not married, but we have children and we're seeing flames. Yeah, having children is actually more of a commitment than marriage. You can just get divorced and move on, but the child. Let's see here. Musi Johannes, I see you got pen, the source of knowledge. Wounded 8. I've had times in my married life where my wife has carried us, not for long, but it can happen, and a good woman will gladly do it. However, it's difficult for a man as a breadwinner to accept facts. And these are some of the things we need to humble ourselves to as men. When you have a good woman and you're a good man, you'll have tough times and she'll be like, babe, I've got you. And you must, in that time she's got you, make sure that you're not still trying to be the man. Wash dishes, clean the house, help the kids with homework, and add value where you can. So, yeah. Rude Boy, this is from Empire. When Cookie gave that, Taraji Henson and Terrence Howard, when Cookie gave her drug money to Lucius and went to prison, Twana, those are ride or dies. Very dangerous for women. Taraji never learns. Assas, well, her characters at least. So, yeah. Rude Boy, Penal, majority of your thoughts and views prove how rarely we actually think about things. Thinking is hard, man. I thought most people think, but I've realized thinking is hard. So people hire other people to think for them. Lawyer, tax advisor, politician, business advisor, what's called thought leaders. Abo Penuel, the black pen. Pen, what do you think of this? I'd like to hear your views. I think thinking is hard. I've come to respect it. And yeah, it's one of those things. Shrumbi, 99% of South Africans live above their means. That's a fact. Musi Johannes, one thing about life is circles. Quoting Vusi Tembegwayo. So yeah. Athena, our legal system is tragic. It's very tragic. What saddens me even more is some of the matters that could be resolved by families. But because families are broken, people are arrogant, they have pride, they practice witchcraft, families cannot resolve things. And then you have to pay a lot of money, get dragged through the courts by things that could have been resolved by Imden. So yeah, Rude Boy emphasizes it's a business. Facts. See here. Daniel Khosana, you really are changing our lives, Brother Pen. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much. See here. I think this is about Shidima. The only says she's not going anywhere. She's South Africa. Athena, on the other side is like, she must go back though. She must go back to Niger. I was shaming Pimville, Soweto. I see the support for more fire. Thank you so much. Magnificent Mashaba. Grootman, you've earned my respect and trust. Many times wish I could share my thoughts as well. Over time, just be brave. Be brave. The only saying personal life must remain private or must stay private. Pamela Zwane, yo, many O's. Penwell, exclamation point. Business is tough, and people who don't understand think entrepreneurs lie. Thank you for this. Only a pleasure. Only a pleasure. A rude boy. I was Christian. Now I am God. Ooh. Let's see here. Zbusiso Basela. Please talk about Ubuntu and if it has a place in democracy in brackets capitalism. Definitely something to discuss in the future. I think I've touched on it in the past, but definitely worth rehashing. So let's see here. Kels Mabiala. Good day. What is your stance on spirituality? I'll definitely speak about that at some point. I've changed my definition so much around some of these terms, and they make more sense to me now. Yeah. Let's see here. Shrumbi. This is one of my brother's favorite lines, by the way. Shrumbi says, we are all perfect parents. All perfect parents until we have children. My brother's line is, what is it? What does he say? Something about you're always the greatest parent until you have kids. When you don't have kids, look, I think what you should do with your kids, but if it was my kid, I would, there you were, parent of the year. Where are your kids? As soon as you see kids, baba yanyiwa. So yeah. Zbusiso Mbasela, mara wena ungu cheese, no offense, baba. Me, I'll be cheese and lasagna and macaroni all day. Hey man, my parents are from Melokshi, Nasemakaya, and they allowed me to have this privilege, and I thank them every single day. So if I'm a cheese boy, I own it proudly, but I'd like to think I'm actually humble and I'm not like these fucking asshole cheese boys that other people are. So yeah. Simpiwe Nkuta. Your sense of humor is priceless. Every now and then, guys, I become a little bit funny. Just a mbichana. The only ish, but I got moored when I was young, and now I'm a balanced parent. I do it different and they respect me. Yes, sometimes I moor once a year, so I guess the kids have an allowance. But talking and confiscating of things like that works. We have to evolve. A lot of parents would take out their frustration on kids and hit them. And one of the issues I have with parents that hit their kids is, number one, don't do it out of emotion. If anything, if you want to hit your kids, be like, I'm angry. I will definitely not hit them now. I will hit them when I've calmed down. And you may find when you've calmed down, you won't hit them anymore. If you are hitting your kids, make sure they fully understand why they are getting a beating. And review yourself. Did I warn these kids? Did I teach them? Was it a mistake? I was wrong. I was wrong to hit them. I was actually in the wrong. So we have to constantly evolve. I cracked this joke with my kids, and in Africa, because they lived with me for long, always like raise it. I used to tell them, you guys are born like this, and I want you to be like this. So I will hit you until one day you are like this. Once you are like this, I don't have to hit you anymore. Kunzi and I made a deal. I think it was before China. It was before they left for China. Africa, I think we negotiated. But I told Kunzi that this is the last time I'm hitting you. And we had a conversation. I was like, from here on, bro, like we have to talk it out. Because you understand now. Why am I still hitting you? And he was like, Baba, I understand. And when they were visiting me during the festive season, I asked them again their opinions on hitting kids. And Africa was like very confident, like, yeah, kids must be hit. I'm like, ayo, girl. I'm like, why? She's like, well, sometimes you warn kids over and over and they just don't listen. I'm like, wow. I'm like, then what must happen? It's like, you must sting them. They must feel the pain. I was like, no, I understand. I fully agree. And that's my teaching. Violence, physical violence should never be the thing. But sometimes kids, and this is not like moor them and strangle your child. It's just feel something. It could be just grabbing your child and just, hey, wena, sorry, but just let them feel something today. Because the truth, guys, is if you don't get your kids to understand there are consequences to bad actions, they will go out into the real world. And the real world doesn't care. And the real world has got a lot of aggressive characters from broken homes, from abusive homes. And those people will discipline your child on your behalf. And it won't be how you would have disciplined them. That'll be your child getting stabbed, getting mob beaten down. That'll be your child not knowing there are consequences to actions. So please discipline your children, get them to understand that out there in the world, there are consequences to actions. So yeah. see here. The only, that's good. Live your life according to your own terms, not by societal pressure or trends. Very important. Rude Boy, quoting, the more you own, the more it owns you. And that's a fact. So yeah. Musi Yohannes, emphasizing the Telegram founder, Pavel Durov. He tried USA, but now he's based in Dubai. That's correct. John Hill, in 100 years, nobody is going to care about the lifestyle you had, but the impact that you made. That's a fact. Zbusiso Mbasela asking, can you service a TAS engine? Luto Baba. Can just do basic service. We weren't taught skills. Basic service I can do. If you send them to a public school, then make sure you create a home curriculum for them. So there are different public schools in this country, and some of the best schools in this country are actually public schools. I think what you're talking about are the under-resourced, badly administered township and rural schools. But some of the best schools in the country, I normally love mentioning them by name. Let's do KZN quickly. Pietermaritzburg College, Pietermaritzburg Girls High. Let's do Durban, Glenwood. You've got Durban Boys High, Durban Girls. You've got Westville Boys, Westville Girls. I mean, where I went to, Newcastle High School, Ferrum, where my sister went to. Let's go. Look, again, I'm forgetting a lot of schools, and I apologize. Let's go Eastern Cape, Selborne College, Grey High School, Queensdale, Collegiate, Clarendon. Let's go Western Cape, Sachs, Rondebosch, Westerford. There's a Wester something in Cape Town. Brilliant school. Let's go. Let's go Northwest, Poch Boys, Poch Girls. Let's go Mpumalanga. You've got, I'm not sure if Lowveld is still a good school, but schools like Hoërskool Nelspruit, there's the Afrikaans schools as well. Sorry that I'm not mentioning them. The Afrikaans schools, Western Cape, Paul Gymnasium, Paul Roos, Paul Gym. Grey College, Bloemfontein, the best school in Africa, is a public school. Come to Gauteng, where I'm based, which is my home now. We start with Pretoria, Afrikaanse Seuns Hoërskool, Afrikaanse Meisies, Waterkloof, Garsfontein. Oh, yeah, you can see this is my home now. Menlo Park, top public government schools. Your Pretoria Boys High, the most expensive government school in the country. Come to Johannesburg, Ikaslami, JP Boys, JP Girls, King Edward School, KES. You've got Bryanston High, you've got Northcliffe High School, brilliant schools. So we must be very careful when we speak about public schools. Some of the best schools in the country are public government schools. Hoërskool Monument, sorry, Noordheuwel. I can keep going, sorry. I think we're just speaking about the township schools and the village schools, and also not all of them, just the ones that are under-resourced, where the teachers are not doing the best, where the management is not great. Then you maybe have to enforce a bit. But this is me. My kids will never struggle. Even if they were to homeschool, I think I have access to resources. My mom was a school teacher. My brother was a school teacher. Some of the mothers of my kids were in education, or their parents. We're good to go. So yeah, thank you for that, the only, by the way. So yeah, Dipulilo, Matole, thank you for this video. Only a pleasure. Kels Mabiala, about your video yesterday, where do you see the struggle between foreigners and South African born citizens going in the next decade? I think I touched on that in the video. Please go watch it again, but maybe I'll speak about it another time, maybe. So yeah. John Hill, you should do a public live in the botanical gardens. I don't know if this is the Johannesburg Botanical Gardens. That's my Kasi, or the Walter Sisulu. So yeah. Tsilidzi and Mbizane. Olapen, I think there's nothing wrong with marriage. The only thing wrong is us with our characters that are not fit for marriage. We need to fix that, and marriage will be friendly. So when we fixed our characters, part of that conversation must be, if our characters are fine, then why do we need marriage? If you and I are Christian, cultural, we love each other, we respect each other, our families vibe, we're raising children in a loving home, and we're there, why then are we getting married? You will need to sell this to me, even in the best of conditions. Why are we signing on paper legally? Why? Sell that to me. Because the idea of having a union where you guys are together, your companions, you're doing the best, it does not need marriage. So Tsilidzi, that's my challenge to you and people like you. So yeah. Dipolilo Matole, we must not die from bazothina abantu. People's standards of us will kill us. These are facts. So yeah. Experience says inspiring how you don't try to be better but different. Thanks, Uncle Pen. Yeah, let me try read this, even though I don't know Shona. Ephraim Brighton Kotora. In Shona we say Mugoni mwepwere wepwere. Mugoni wepwere ndiye asinavo. Mugoni wepwere ndiye asinavo. Meaning one who is great with kids is the one who doesn't have them. That's from the earlier quote. Mbali goodness, thanks for your teachings. Thank you. Mr. Msomi, pick up. My brother, all I would like to know is why the real truth is kept from the people. We know why. The truth is kept from the people. I would like you to explore the hidden truths, even about religion. So yeah. John Hill, private schools don't care about teaching your kids. They care about results. I went to Marefelune, very good school. Marefelune, I think it's in Alberton, if I'm not mistaken. They normally play against another good school, Boksburg, IRG Janssen, which is a school I really like. They've had an amazing rugby season. The private schools, in their defense, actually really do care about education. I think if you get more involved in private schooling, they actually really invest. But because they're an institution, they have to make sure that the kids deliver, and they put in a lot of emphasis and focus. Small classrooms, isolated individual attention, so they really do well. We shouldn't bash private schools, in my opinion. So yeah. Sharaj, Sinclair, hi Pen, any suggestions on free skills development programs that are part-time? I don't have any. But I've been thinking about this. I do want to compile a list of skills development spaces around South Africa and other places that people can go and acquire real skills, because that's the future of the world, having skills, not a degree, not a qualification, not school, but having a skill. So yeah. CRV quotes page 43 of Penalism Principles. Shout out to you, Sia. Parents, your tasks are straightforward. Number 1, protect your child. Number 2, shelter your child. Number 3, feed your child. And number 4, clothe your child. Number 5, educate your child. Your child is not your own. They belong to the world. You are just their guide for the time. Lesitsa Gaubane. Beatings help children understand violence and that they are not invincible. Actions have consequences. So that's one of the arguments. Clement Mtsweni, South Africans are against Mrs. South Africa. Well, I think Miss South Africa is what they made, sent being half Nigerian. What's your take on that, Clement? I made a video about this on my live. Please go check on my channel and you'll hear my thoughts on that. So yeah, I'll keep going with these comments. Okay, I'm good. Pen, you on the black pen. Have a great and blessed Friday. Please work hard. And by work hard, if you have a job, if you don't have a job, clean your house. Make sure you're serving your family and your community. Don't forget to tell your children you love them, hug them. Same with your parents, same with your siblings and other people, your friends, etc. Make sure that you enjoy your weekend responsibly. Make sure that you're adding value to the people around you and you're not just a value leech. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support you give to my channel. I will be putting in more work moving forward. And I've set up a WhatsApp group, by the way. You can just hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah, mostly. I've set up a WhatsApp group for fans of the panel show, fans of dope conversations, fans of these platforms, so that we can discuss what you guys think I can be doing better. If we can maybe have get-togethers, how I can help fundraise, getting you guys merch. I'm currently working on merchandise for you guys to wear, and let's build our own little ecosystem with Penuel, the black pen at the center. So yeah. The only pen, can you make a video dedicated to good public schooling where you can provide a list of good public schools in every province? The only, if you go on this channel that you're on now and you type in Penal schools, Penal education, I've done these videos in the past. They exist here. We have spoken about the schools. I've spoken about the education systems in South Africa, my issues, homeschooling, and it is all here if you search for it. But I will be maybe making more newer, more relevant videos in time. But for the stuff you're looking for, it already currently exists. If you search my name, school, or my name, education, you will find something there. So yeah, let me be gone. Have a great and blessed Friday. Cheers.